Yo, what is up guys, it's me Zachary and welcome to day 9 of the 2017-2018 NBA season. John Wall versus Lonzo Ball. The matchup that everyone was waiting for since there had been so much trash talk heading into their first meeting. John Wall was saying over the summer how NBA players were going to go after Lonzo because of his dad. And Marcin Gortat said a couple of days ago that John Wall was going to torture Lonzo Ball in the matchup. I don't know if I would go as far as to say that Lonzo was tortured at all by Wall last night. Wall had his second off shooting night in a row yesterday, only 7 of 22 from the field, 18 points and 9 assists, while Lonzo didn't shoot the ball well himself either, 2 of 11 shooting for 6 points, but he also had 10 assists and 8 rebounds. So I think the matchup between them was actually kind of disappointing after all the hype that was built around it. The game itself though, between the Wizards and the Lakers, oh, that was pretty good. It was the first overtime game of the season thanks to Bradley Beal only hitting one of his free throws in the final seconds of regulation, allowing Brandon Ingram to tip in his own miss with 0.7 seconds remaining to tie the game. And then in overtime, it was KCP who hit the game-deciding 3 to give the Lakers the 102-99 win. After the game, Luke Walton let everyone know what's going to happen now when players purposely try and take aim at Lonzo Ball. It's nothing personal, but we defend each other. If people want to talk about our players, we should be offended. We're not just gonna take it. I don't know if that was part of it, but our guys were more locked in tonight. And Wall, I think, came away from the game with some newly earned respect for Lonzo. He's been dealing with his father's outspoken comments his whole life. It doesn't bother him, it's just new to everybody else. He's very mature for his age. This Lakers team is interesting. They are now 2-2 on the year after this impressive victory over one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference. And the Lakers do have a lot of great young talent. There's no question about that. The only thing is how inconsistent the talent is right now, especially Brandon Ingram. There are games where he looks like he shouldn't be shooting the ball at all, then other games like last night where he's actually looks really good. 19 points on 50% shooting and 10 rebounds. And inconsistency overall isn't that big of a deal for this team right now. Young players tend to be kind of inconsistent. On top of that, they're trying to learn a new team, playing with a bunch of new players. It's gonna take some time, but once they do figure everything out, they might be able to start pulling out wins like this on a more consistent basis. Speaking of young teams, the Philadelphia 76ers, I mentioned the last time they played how young teams have tendencies to blow leads and start playing sloppy down the stretch. And because of those tendencies, they tend to suffer from some gut-wrenching losses, just like the one they suffered last night. Straight to the fourth quarter, the Sixers are able to maintain around an 8-point lead for the majority of the quarter, had a 7-point lead with 90 seconds to go. I'm sure some Rockets fans watching the game knew their chances of winning were pretty slim. However, a Clint Capella layup after a missed JJ Redick triple cut the lead to 5 with 1 minute to go. 30 seconds later, after another missed JJ Redick triple, Joel Embiid is called for goaltending on a James Harden layup attempt, and even worse, it was an and one goaltend. Harden hits the free throw and bang, 2-point game with 30 seconds to go. And then Philly, on the next possession, fails to even get a shot up as James Harden comes up with a huge defensive stop on Jared Bayless. Who says James Harden doesn't play defense? Shot clock violation, Houston ball. Final play of the game, James Harden gets the ball to Eric Gordon in the corner, pump fake, Embiid falls for it, dribble to the side, put it up and put it in. Eric Gordon with the game winner as the Rockets come back to silence the crowd in Philly. 105-104 was the final score. Eric Gordon with 29 points, Harden with 27 points and 13 assists, and Clint Capella was the unsung hero of this game. 16 points, 20 rebounds, blocking 4 shots on the night. Joel Embiid scored 21 for Philly, while Ben Simmons nearly had another triple-double with 14 points, 9 assists, and 7 rebounds. Of course, no Isaiah Thomas, no D Rose, and no D Wade either for the Cavs last night, as he was out with a left knee contusion. But still, that is no excuse for the Cavs to go out and lose to the Brooklyn Nets, especially considering D'Angelo Russell was also missing in action in this one. I mean, the point guard matchup was LeBron James versus Spencer Dinwiddie, and LeBron was able to drop a triple-double on Dinwiddie. No big surprise there. 29 points, 13 assists, and 10 rebounds. But none of that mattered to Dinwiddie because it was Dinwiddie who hit the 3 with under a minute to go to give the Nets the 112-107 win. Get this, the Brooklyn Nets had the same record as the Cleveland Cavaliers. What kind of world are we living in right now? And even though he was outplayed by LeBron, Dinwiddie himself didn't play a bad game at all. 22 points, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds on the night, while Allen Crabbe chipped in 19 off the bench. Other than LeBron's 29, Korver had 22 off the bench for Cleveland. Not only do the Nets have the same record as the Cavs, but they now also have the same record as the Golden State Warriors too. Just let that marinate in your mind for a bit. Then remember that it's only 5 games into the season, so it's not that big of a deal. Just want to give any Nets fans out there a second to celebrate what could be their organization's biggest accomplishment, maybe ever. Nah, I'm just playing. But the Warriors did just do what they did best last night, win, even if it wasn't the prettiest win. However, I do have to give some props to the Raptors for hanging in there, because when Golden State shoots 55% from the field and 46% from 3, I look at those numbers and I immediately think that the Warriors won by at least 30 points. But because of the Raptors' offensive rebounding allowing them to get those precious second chance points, they were able to hang right in the game up until the very end. And I gotta give credit to Jakob Poeltl. 11 offensive rebounds on the night. 11 offensive rebounds. That is insane. He was pretty much single-handedly the reason the Raptors weren't blown out. Durant and Green both blamed it on the Warriors just refusing to box out last night. 4-year-old up in the stands probably could have seen that we should have been boxing out. We don't want to build bad habits, and the coach is doing a good job of correcting us when we make mistakes. That's what Durant had to say about it, and it's true. To give up 11 offensive rebounds, and not even to a guy like DeAndre Jordan, Anthony Davis, Andre Drummond, Hassan Whiteside, or any other dominant rebounder in the NBA. Clearly, they just couldn't be bothered to box out at all last night, and it almost causes them to win, but great shooting will cover up a bunch of mistakes. Curry finished with 30, KD with 29, and Thompson had 22 on the night. 117 to 112 was the final score. Don't call it a comeback, but this can't be the same Phoenix Suns team that was allowing teams to score 130 on them a night throughout the first 3 games. I told you that they had to be purposely playing no defense at all to get Earl Watson canned. Like, giving up 130 and losing 2 games by 40 points, you gotta try super hard at not trying at all to be able to do that. They give up on the coach, he's gone, and now they are trying, as the Phoenix Suns played some tremendous defense against one of the best defensive teams in the NBA last night to claim the 97-88 win over the Jazz. It's crazy what you can do when you put your mind to something like playing defense. TJ Warren led all scorers last night with 27 points, while Rudy Gobert had 16 points, 14 rebounds, and 5 blocks for Utah. Paul George's first game against his former team, and Victor Oladipo's first game against the Thunder since being traded too. And I don't know if it was emotions or what, but George didn't get to play much in that game because he fouled out in only 19 minutes. I can't remember the last time Paul George ever fouled out of a game, let alone to do it in 19 minutes. How does that happen? But it's okay, because Westbrook was in his zone last night. If you remember, he came alive in the final 5 minutes of the Minnesota game earlier in the week, and he carried that momentum over into this game as well. 28 points, 16 assists, and 10 rebounds for Westbrook, while Melo also had his best game of the season so far, scoring 28 points on 9 of 17 shooting to go along with 10 rebounds. And while Paul George might not have gotten much shine against his former team, Victor Oladipo was playing like he was trying to stunt on his ex last night. 35 points on 11 of 18 shooting for Oladipo. Thunder win 114-96. To be honest, the Wolves are playing the same kind of defense that the Suns were playing to start the year. Don't get me wrong, I for sure appreciated last night as the Pistons were able to put this game away in the second quarter and never look back. The Wolves let the Pistons drop 40 points on their head in the second quarter to take a commanding lead, which resulted in a 122-101 Detroit win. Tobias Harris, who has been pure flames so far this season, had yet another great scoring game with 34 points. Dude is averaging 23 points on 52% shooting and 47% from deep. You can't tell me that's not flames. Avery Bradley had his best offensive game for the Pistons, scoring 20 points, and Andre Drummond had 15 points and 15 rebounds. Karl Anthony Towns scored 23 points and grabbed 10 rebounds for Minnesota. I'm guessing this is what the Spurs were imagining when they inked Rudy Gay to his contract this summer, getting some remarkable performances off the bench like this. 22 points on only 6 of 8 shooting from the field because the Heat couldn't stop him from getting to the line. 11 free throw attempts for Rudy last night, and he sunk 9 of them. And I'm also guessing this is what the Spurs were envisioning when they inked Aldridge to his extension. 31 points on 12 of 20 shooting. Yo, welcome back, LA, as the Spurs remain undefeated on the year with the 117-100 victory over the Heat. Dennis Smith Jr. is real nice. He's been playing like he's one of the more NBA ready players out of the draft. Had an excellent game again last night to get the Mavs their first win of the season over the Memphis Grizzlies, who were actually undefeated heading into the night. 19 points on 8 of 12 shooting for Dennis Smith. The Mavs got a steal in the draft. 103-94 was the final score, with Marc Gasol scoring 26 and grabbing 11 rebounds from Memphis. Last but not least, the Charlotte Hornets were able to take care of business at home against the Denver Nuggets last night. Dwight Howard might not be his same D12 self from Orlando, but I do think he is currently playing some of his best basketball since his Orlando days. He was dominant last night with 15 points and 19 rebounds, while Kemba Walker added 19 points, and rookie Malik Monk had the best game of his career so far, scoring 17 off the bench. Jokic and Harris both scored 18 for Denver, and 110-93 was the final score. That wraps up all the action from last night, though. You guys can go vote for the player of the day by following the link down in the description box below. Just remember that only players whose team won are eligible to win player of the day. Yesterday, you guys selected Aaron Gordon and his 41 points and 14 rebounds as your player of the day. But thank you guys for watching, and remember to stay tuned for the daily NBA news coming up later today, and I'll see you guys then. Peace!